If you've never heard of an airplane fuel facility before, you're not alone. These facilities don't often get wide attention, but they are critical for airports to operate, as they provide airplanes the fuel they need to fly. This enables planes to transport people, goods, essential and critical materials. These facilities were created to be the safest and most efficient way to store and supply aviation fuel for aircraft. They are regulated and continuously monitored and inspected while in operation. Since 1998, Austin-Bergstrom International Airport has had a main fuel facility located next to the Barbara Jordan Terminal and other fuel storage sites on the property for general aviation. But now, with an increasing demand for air travel and development at the airport must construct a second fuel facility to have sufficient fuel supply in the coming years to support a growing airport, a growing city, and a growing economy. Like we said, fuel facilities are vital for airports and are the safest way to store and supply fuel for aircraft. But let's break down how a fuel facility works. Before a fuel facility is constructed, there needs to be an environmental review to evaluate the potential environmental impact of the facility. All information from the review is presented to the Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA. This is the administration that says if it is safe or not to create a facility in the first place. If no significant impacts to air quality, socioeconomics, or environmental justice, water resources, or other surroundings are expected to occur. And after the facility has been reviewed and approved by the City of Austin and Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, the design is then approved and construction can begin. From there, plans are drawn up and the facility is constructed. The day-to-day operations of a fuel facility are fairly quiet compared to other airport noise. A fuel transport truck collects aviation fuel from a location outside of the city and takes it to the fuel facility at the airport. When it arrives at the facility, the truck parks in a designated offloading lane. Before the fuel transfer begins, the trucks are first connected to a bonding cable, which reduces the risk of generating static electricity or spark. Similar steps are taken when loading fuel onto aircraft. Hoses are then connected to the truck's rear tank, and pumping of the fuel begins into one of two fuel storage tanks located several yards away. You'll find that the fuel facility is built on concrete to protect groundwater and the earth below. The concrete is regularly monitored, and if a crack occurs, it's sealed immediately. This meets standards to create a safe operation at the airport. With the fuel now inside the tanks, let's take a look at how it's stored, protected from the elements, and contained in a safe environment. The fuel, which is known as Jet A fuel, is pumped into tanks made of steel. Generally, the tanks are never completely full, but safety procedures are in place to test the tanks at their highest capacity every now and then. This is done to ensure that the valves filling up the tanks shut off and close immediately when reaching high levels. In addition to ongoing safety tests, the tanks are monitored 24/7 and must meet all established safety requirements and pass inspections on a regular basis. These inspections are done by the City of Austin, airline partners, airport officials, and others. There are even other safety features inside the tanks that can't be seen from the outside. One of these is a fire suppression system. If a fire or flame were to occur inside the tank, the fire suppression system is immediately activated to release a foam suppressant, which extinguishes the flames. It is worth noting that Jet A fuel stored in the tanks is drastically less volatile and lets off lower emission levels than gasoline you would put in your vehicle, lawnmower, or other petroleum or diesel-powered devices. To reduce the chance of a fire occurring, the temperature of the fuel is controlled and never goes above 90 degrees, even on 100+ degree days. The tanks are built to withstand heat. Fuel is a liquid substance, so safety precautions are in place to control leaks and spills. The tanks themselves are nestled inside what is called a dike. Similar in appearance to a large swimming pool, the dike is there to contain any spills or leaks if they ever occur. It's deep enough to capture all of the fuel from two tanks at once and is lined with a material to protect the ground and soil beneath it. Austin-Bergstrom International Airport has dedicated police and firefighting units located on the airport property and are on call 24/7. At this point in our story, the fuel is stored in the tanks and waiting for pickup. So let's take a look at that process. A large truck, this one we'll call an airplane refueling truck, comes to the facility to start pumping the fuel into the rear of the truck. Once the truck is full, it heads onto the airfield and provides fuel to an airplane. This airplane refueling process only takes place at the fuel facility located near the Barbara Jordan terminal and will not take place at the new facility. The second new fuel facility will be a limited operation compared to this one. It will only exist to receive and store fuel. The fuel will be transferred directly to this existing fuel facility through an underground protected pipe. No fuel will be removed from the tanks at the new location. Airplane fuel facilities are vital to an airport's operation and critical to support our community's growth and development, and not just at the airport. As we welcome new Austinites to our city and new businesses and economic opportunity, our city's airport must be able to meet the needs of our rapidly growing Austin community and the communities throughout Central Texas.